I saved 90,500 deposit for my first home, and I done it while working normal warehouse job, not with a huge salary, secret investments or huge successful business side hustle. What made difference was 7 fairly ordinary habits. Some of them saved me a couple of £100, some of them saved me few pounds at the time, but together, repeated consistency, they helped me reach the goal faster than I expected. I also made a few mistakes. I sometimes lived too fragile, and at other times are worked more overtime than is probably healthy. So here is what actually helped, what I would do differently, and which habit I still use today. I always been quite comfortable living simple life. I don't spend much money on the clothes, and I don't need to change my phone every year, and I also don't need to go somewhere expensive every weekend. I still don't know whether it's mean I'm living too fragile or I just don't have style. But saving money for my first home was different from just being careful with the money. Once I had a clear target, I roughly knew how much I need, and once I get committed, every pound had a purpose. First habit was giving the money specific job. There is a big difference between saying I should be probably saving more and saying I need 90,500 for home deposit. Clear number make progress visible. You know how far you come, and you know how much more you need to go. I also broke down goal in the small milestones. The first 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000. After some milestone, I allowed myself a smaller reward. Nothing which will destroy the progress, but enough to make a process feel less like one endless period of saying no. That might be meal out or small purchase I had delayed. For me, it was, for example, some nice book. The reward was not the point. The point was to prove myself that I was moving forward. Second habit was controlling expenses, which actually moved the needle. At the time, I was renting a room in the share house for around 600 per month. It was not luxurious, but it kept my housing costs manageable while I was saving. People often focus on small purchases like coffee, and those add up, but housing, transport, debt, car payments, they usually make a much bigger difference. So I continue driving an older car rather than financing a new one. It was not impressive, but it did the job. Morgan Housel make a useful point in his book Psychology of the Money. When people see expensive car, they often do not admire person who driving it, but they picture themselves in the car. So for me, the owning a home mattered more than looking wealthy for a few seconds. Third habit was creating distance between wanting something and buying it. Good example is a new phone. It feels exciting in advert and for the first days, but after a few days it just become normal phone again. So I asked myself 3 questions. Do I need this? Will I still want it next week? And is there a cheaper or used option where I can buy something and product will do the same job for me? For the clothes and sportwear, I often check places like TK Maxx or Sport Direct, sales section or discount categories. For furniture or gym equipment, tools or household items, I also check places like Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace. The goal was not to buy cheapest possible version of everything. It was a stop an impulse from making decision for me. The fourth habit was simple knowing where the money was going. You don't need a spreadsheet with 50 categories, but if you never review your spending, small recurring payments become almost invisible. I canceled Netflix because I didn't get enough value from it, and I changed my mobile plan from 15 per month to £10 per month, which is only £5 but over the year it's gonna be 60. And I also found one subscription which I don't know what was that about. Once I noticed it, I just cancel it through the bank. That taught me a useful rule. Every few months check some recurring payments and ask yourself, what is it? Do I use it? Would I notice if it disappeared? For some membership, it's worth to keep them. For example, I use gym regularly, so it gives me great value. But the goal is not to cancel everything. It is to stop paying for the things which survive only because you forgot about them. Fifth habit is meal preparation and reducing food waste. Because I train regularly, meal prep already fits in my routine. It helps control what I eat, and it also saves the money. Before shopping, I check the fridge, I check the freezer, I check the cupboards. Then I plan meal around what I already have. Food waste is literally going straight away to the bin. So my rule is simple. If I repeatedly throw away something, I simply stop buying it. There is no point shopping for imaginary version of yourself who cooks 5 complicated meals every week. You need to shop for yourself who come home tired after work. And meal prep also reduced unplanned takeaways and unhealthy snacks. I still eat out sometimes, but there is a difference between choosing to enjoy meal outside and spending money because there is nothing ready at the home. Sixth habit was keeping deposit in accessible saving account with a competitive interest rate, because I plan to use my money within a relatively short period. I didn't want to expose deposit to large market swings, and I want it safe, accessible, and still earning something. I also keep it separate from my everyday account. When all your money sit together, the balance can trick you into feeling that all of it is available for you to spend. But deposit already have the job. Moving it in the separate account create a small barrier. It was still accessible, but it no longer feel like spending money. I also benefit from staff discount and 1% cashback on my card. If I combine it together, it reduced some enable shopping by roughly 16%. It's not life-changing on one purchase, but a small percentage adding up, as long as you don't buy unnecessary things because you have discount. Seventh habit was overtimes. This probably make one of the biggest differences, but it also carried biggest risks. I get paid every 4 weeks, which means there is effectively one extra payment comparing to if I'm getting paid once per month, and I treated it as extra progress instead of excuse to increase my spending. My overtime varied. Some months I done 12 hours, other months I done around 60 hours. There were periods when I done 14 days in a row, and I accept almost every overtime available. Then I would need to stop and take a break from overtimes. Few extra hours can help, but constantly working affect your sleep, training, mood, health, especially on a night shift. Looking back, I would still use overtime for defined goal, but I would not confuse earning faster with living better. Eventually, I reached my 19,500 deposit and I bought my first place. And because I had researched the process and planned for it, it felt more exciting than stressful. The more you understand, the less frightening the process become. What surprised me was the habit just didn't disappear afterwards. After taking the mortgage, I built my saving bags around 20,000 just as an emergency fund. That showed me that deposit was not just one-time achievement. That just changed how I handle the money. But there is a downside. I become very comfortable not spending. I still do not buy many clothes, and sometimes I probably cut back more than necessary. That is different being intentional with the money and being afraid to enjoy it, and that's something I'm still learning. Those are 7 habits which helped me save the 19,500 deposit in less than 2 years. None of them were secret strategies. The biggest difference came from having clear target, control major costs, delaying impulse purchases, planning foods, review subscriptions, earning interest, and using overtime with a purpose. Your income, rent, and responsibilities are completely different. The point is not to copy my exact lifestyle, it's to decide what matters to you and make your spending reflect it. For me, buying the home mattered more than a new phone, more expensive car, or another subscription I barely use. But do not postpone your entire life. Save aggressively when it makes sense. Allow yourself small rewards and protect your health along the way. So, what are you currently saving for, and which habit was hardest for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in realistic videos about money, fitness, building better life while working a normal job, subscribe and follow the journey. And thanks for the watching.